Huh?
Oh, there you go.
Oh yeah, you were muted.
I didn't know I was muted. This sounds good from all the way back here. Usually, like, I got to be up on it, but I like this. This should change a pace. That's super loud. All right, that's better. Are we live online?
You ready?
Yes.
Ready?
Yes.
Ready? Hey. Check.
Yes.
Check. All right, cool.
And here we go.
Good evening and welcome to another episode of the Sarcast. I'm your host, Steve Lybrand. Joining me as he does each and every week, Mr. Robert Rennie.
What's up?
What's up,
Missed you
dude?
last week.
Me too. So, second COVID scare. A little different than the first. So yeah, that's what I was dealing with. I was dealing with another COVID scare. Had to go get tested again. The rapid test has actually gotten better. It's not as invasive as it was the first time. The first time, like, she went digging for gold. This time they just went around the rim, so to speak.
Really?
Yeah, it was not as bad as the first one.
Oh, okay. That's good for you.
Yeah. You haven't had to have it at all yet, right?
No, sir.
Lucky. You're dodging bullets.
No, I'm just staying healthy. Staying away from this shit.
Mine keeps. I'm always around people. I can't avoid being around people. I'm a people person, Rob.
Oh yeah.
That's what I do.
That's your excuse.
That's my excuse.
All right. Sounds good.
These caps. So I'm watching the video as we go, and it's got captions on my screen.
Yeah.
So it's weird.
Why?
I don't know. It's weird to me. It's weird. So what's good with you? What did you do last week?
Nothing.
All right.
Nothing really. I mean, oh, what's up, Tommy? Let me see. What did I do?
TK, what's up, my brother?
Let me see. Oh, I got a good Wawa story last week, though. Every time I go to Wawa now, I get like a story out of this.
I love your Wawa stories.
So I went to Wawa.
Right.
I'm in line.
Yep.
Lady in front of me buys like a coffee and a cupcake. Right.
How dare her? But go ahead.
Oh, it's cool. Whatever.
Right.
She paid with a $10 bill. The register lady thought she paid with a $100 bill.
Oh shit! Did she try to stop her, or was she just like, "Nah, keep giving me 20s"?
She stopped her.
Did she?
The customer stopped
Ooh.
her, and I was like, "Ooh, that would have been a hurt piece if that would have went through, huh?"
There is some honesty left in this country.
Yeah, but I was like, wait, how do you mess that up?
That's pretty significant.
How do you turn a 10 into 100? Like,
Yeah.
They don't really look alike, right? Like,
No,
pretty far off.
She could have accidentally hit an extra zero.
I
That's
thought she
possible.
did that from like Sing, like the old lady in Sing when her eye falls out and hits the extra zero.
Did you just watch Sing the other night because it was on?
No, bro, I watch Sing all the time.
Yeah, my the wife was definitely not the wife. My daughter was definitely into it for a stretch. It was actually just on the other night. We were watching a little bit of it. That's why
So
I thought
I know
you
the
brought it
whole
up.
movie.
I'm sure you do. So Today is 1 year.
1 year what?
Today is 1 year of the first COVID case in Philadelphia.
Oh yeah. Hold
So
on a
we're at
second.
one. We're at the 1 year mark. Definitely been an interesting year. We've experienced many changes, many hardships. We've experienced basically a new way of living. And I mean, I feel like I see an end in sight where we're not having to wear masks in public as much as before, but like, I don't know if things are ever going to go back to what they were. Like when we kept using the term the new normal, like that's a real thing. We're in a new normal. This is the new normal.
Yeah. 100%.
Like, to me, I get a little weird when people aren't wearing masks around me, even though like I'm anti-mask. I think they're fucking awful, but I get why. I'm not wearing it for me. I'm wearing it for you. By chance, I already have it. Like, I want to make sure I don't give it to anybody else. If I get it, that's on me because I'm fucking careless, but I don't want to give it to anybody else or jeopardize anybody else's health over it. But
So in my real job, we got mandated now that
you have a fake job?
masks. Well, yeah, this. Yeah, this is my fake job.
Okay.
Anyway, because I don't want to make any money from this.
No, I got it.
But we got mandated now that part of our personal protective equipment is masks. We're supposed to wear masks all the time now.
That
when at
makes
work.
sense.
No, it doesn't. The rule literally says I'm supposed to wear a mask when I'm sitting by myself in my truck.
I'm saying that I can see that it's a part of your PPE kits.
I'm supposed to be outside working, like, and I'm just supposed to be wearing a mask just because.
Gotcha.
Like, dude, it don't make any sense.
I got you. It's definitely been interesting.
Yeah, I mean,
Like what's different in your life, do you think, like today that you're like, wow, a year ago, I can't even imagine. Like one of the things that I've enjoyed over the course of the last week is seeing like people's posts. And they're like, 1 year ago today, I went out to dinner. I had no idea that would be the last time I would go out be in a restaurant without masks. Or, 1 year ago, I was out with a bunch of friends doing this or whatever. And I've kind of actually enjoyed those because it's almost like there's almost a post-apocalyptic feel to it. Do you know what I mean?
I like there's memes that are like, what have you, the last 100 years were this? And
Yeah.
it's just talking about 1 year.
Yeah,
It's like, that's because that's what it feels like, though.
it does.
Like, seriously.
Like this time last year, we were laughing at people that were running out and buying toilet paper by the skid full. You know what I mean? And now here we are. Like you guys that are listening at home, we do a live show obviously every Wednesday. And before I forget to mention too, we're going to be moving to Thursday nights. For those of you that listen via the pod, download, nothing's going to change for you. Everything will still be the same. But
you'll just
for
have
those
to
of you-
wait till Friday morning to
Yep.
hear our lovely voices.
Yep. And we got some cool things that are coming up too that we'll discuss later on the show, some partnership things that we're going to be taking care of. But for those of you guys that are listening at home, today's Wednesday. So we normally do our show Wednesdays, 6:00.
For those of you on the pod, just disregard that.
Yeah. But you should know too, because you should listen in live. We love interaction from the people that listen to the show. But the reason I'm bringing this up, those of you that are listening in live, like, how has your life changed in the last year? What's different for you? Like, I feel like every aspect of the way that we digest things, like not food, but like digest life,
Here's one
is
I
different.
think is different.
Yep.
So, obviously, I have 2 small children. Literally now, every time we get home,
Mhm.
it's wash your hands.
Yes.
It was not like that a year ago.
Right.
It's
It's
just
definitely a wash your hands all the time. How about like those are obvious things. Wash your
Or we
hands.
get in the car and the wife's like literally squirting sanitizer on
Yeah.
everybody's hands.
Yeah.
I'm like, what? I didn't touch anything except for myself.
You're infected. You're dirty. So you got to clean your hands.
I'm always dirty.
I know.
so.
But like, how has your life changed? Like, other than like making sure you wash your hands, which it's weird saying that you didn't before, but now that you are washing your hands,
I
good
shop
on
for
you.
masks now
Yeah.
to find out which one I like better.
Yeah.
Like I bought 2 of the Under Armour ones. They're okay. They're a little heavy though.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like they're heavy.
Do you find like I find myself when I'm shopping, like say I'm looking for clothes, right? We're coming up on the summer season.
Don't tell me you're trying to shop. You're trying to match masks.
No, no. Although, no. So I feel like the way that we look at things, the way that we view what our life's going to be, like if we're planning, if a year ago we were planning for something, like the thought of what our future would look like is totally different than today, the way that we're planning it. So like for instance, if I'm shopping for something, I don't think like, hey, I don't know if I want to get that because I might be too cold or too warm outside. I look at that and go, that'll be comfortable if I'm sitting on the couch.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Like I'm not looking at something and go, oh, that's fashionable. That'll look cool. I'm looking at it and going, is that practical for the house? Like I'm not even looking going, should I buy jeans? It's sweats only, ball shorts, right? Because where else am I going? Like work clothes. I'm like, all right, well, I'm not really allowed to go out of the office because we can't go in anywhere else. We can't make sales calls and stuff. Like it's just a different thing. Like when you're planning, like you're not planning, well, we'll go out to dinner or we're going to go do this. Like birthdays are weird. You know what I mean?
Birthdays are weird. Yeah. I mean, even though like, I feel like in your case or like with you and like with me or whatever, like we've still gotten together, like regardless, like, but not for like big events.
Right.
Like I feel like it was at most like 15 people.
Yeah. But I feel like I find myself trying to find more things to do, like even for the summer, as like we're planning, like I've got things that I know that I'm going to do.
Yeah.
But I'm still planning as if like I know like 3-6 months down the line, I've got things going on and we're still planning.
Shit don't get canceled again.
Right. Like this time last year, we were canceling our trip to Chicago. You know what I mean? Like, but like as you're planning and as you're thinking about stuff, you're still thinking as in we're going to be in a pandemic environment 3, 6, 9 months out. Right.
I mean, I kind of feel that way. Yeah. Like we're still going to have some kind of restrictions, right? Like
yeah. I think what my point is like, I can't imagine like in my thought process right now.
Phone shows like full screen, dude.
What's that?
My phone like shows full screen. I had to use my phone today. It's like full screen.
Nice. I feel like my thought process today is like we're not ever going to get out of this. Like I don't see a future without it. I know that we're going to, and I know that this isn't going to be.
I think some of the stuff's here to stay though, no matter what.
You think masks are here to stay?
No, I don't think masks, but
right.
I feel like the cleanliness, like more cleanliness is cleaning things. I feel like in restaurants, like more people now are going to strive to put in better air purification systems. Like for instance, the Wells Fargo Center where our home teams play here, they had to put in $11 million air purifier.
Right. Doesn't it make you wonder, like, the school system here? My wife being a teacher, I'm very attuned to what's going on. And a lot of them had to revamp their school buildings.
Yeah.
And like they're like, we look at it as the stimulus passed. The stimulus is getting passed. We're getting our third stimulus
already, just waiting for the president.
Right. So that it's going to go through. But we're at a point where like part of that is they keep throwing money at the schools to help them reopen. And it's like, where's this money going? What are we doing with it? And it's like most of these schools have had to revamp their entire HVAC system to be better. Some of these schools that are in the city, like the inner cities, they're so fucking old.
Fans, dude.
Yeah. They were, hooking implanting box fans into, wooden erector sets or whatever and throwing them in the window like that was going to work.
Embarrassing, dude.
Yeah. And like I get it. Like the parents, it's tough because I get stuck in the middle of the argument sometimes where I've got people that are like, I just want my kids to go back to school. And it's like, well, I've got my wife who's a teacher who's, very healthy. She works out a couple times a week. She eats well. And like, she doesn't want to go back because she doesn't want to transmit it from the kids to her to bring home to us. Like the big thing that everybody should have been pushing for is we can get all these teachers back into school. We can get our kids back into school. You need to vaccinate the teacher. They should have been vaccinated with the first responders if you really felt that strongly about having your kids back in school.
Now they're giving them all the Johnson & Johnson vax.
Right.
So at least they're doing that and taking that whole thing and giving it all to the teachers.
But they should have been doing that from the beginning. Yeah. You've got the biggest problem with a lot of this is transparency.
I look online now, like on Facebook, and all these people are saying like, I have my vaccination. And I'm like, what do you do that you get a vaccination?
Right.
Like, I'm like, what did you do?
Yeah.
Like literally, like, what did you do?
Right.
I don't understand it.
Yeah. Yeah. Like what is your job title?
Line up in one of the categories to where I can go like get it. I think
I could have went months ago.
I could go now or whatever.
I'm high risk because I'm a diabetic.
Right.
And I'm overweight. I could have went months ago, but Like my big thing is I don't know about the science. I don't know how I feel about getting the shot. Like, I don't think I should go get one. I think I should to protect everybody else. Like, it's a weird line. Like, I have a hard time believing.
Like, we're both kind of like on the edge. Like, I don't think I want to get it.
I'm kind of at that feel too. Like, I want to go get it to make sure that I'm doing my duty and protecting everybody else. But I'm not going to lie that I'm not concerned to the fact that they found a cure. They found a cure for a disease that they didn't know about. They found a cure for a disease. Hear me out now. That's 15 months old, 16 months old at this point. December of 2019, right? Was the first case, or November? What is that? 5 a year, 17 months. They were able to find a cure for a fucking disease they knew nothing about in a year. They rushed it out there. They're barely testing it. Like, those are the things that scare me. But then I hear other people who've gotten it that are like, I'm good. Like, the second needle hurt, sucked for like 2 weeks. My arm's sore, but I'm good. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I'm not one of those conspiracy theorists where there's people out there that are like, they're chipping us. This is how they're getting the chip in there.
I mean, dude, the whole chip thing is ridiculous.
Right.
Like, come on. Like, where are you coming up with that? Like, they're injecting you using that they're making something in a liquid that can be chipped. What's the point of that? You're chipped anyway.
What do you mean? With your phone?
Yeah.
I just love how people think that their life is so important that they think the government is really that hard pressed to make sure that they know like where you're at, what you're doing. Like, I hear people talk about that with like, I'm never going to get an easy pass. Why? Because I don't want the government to know where I'm at. Like, shut the fuck up.
You're chipped no matter what you do.
They don't care.
If they want to follow you, they have your cell phone. Like,
but
no
even
lie,
so,
they can just follow you.
There's not a guy sitting in front of fucking a million monitors going, wonder what Rob Rennie's doing today. Let me find out this motherfucker's playing video games again. Like, they don't care.
It'd be
like,
cool if they did that, though.
Yeah, like, the people out there that think they have such self-worth, or like they're so important that, listen, you're just a cog. Nobody gives a fuck what you're doing. They don't care. They don't. And if you're one of those people that's like, oh, I don't want them tracking me, I want to know what it is that you're doing that you're worried that they're tracking you, right? But like, to me, that's not a concern. I'm not concerned about the chip.
There's no chip.
There might be a chip. You want to hear a funny conspiracy theory? I love to go off on tangents, but do you want to hear a funny conspiracy theory?
God.
Birds aren't real.
What?
Birds aren't real.
So when I first started at my job, they told me a story about an old guy who used to work there. That he used to look up at the birds and say, "There's cameras in those birds, and they're following me."
Correct.
Yeah.
That's what they are. They're a bunch of cameras. They're fucking right. They do. I'm not so sure I don't. Have you ever called a bird before?
Yeah.
Like one of the government birds?
What government birds? The pigeons?
No, the birds that have. First off, have you ever seen a baby pigeon before?
Yeah.
No, you haven't.
Yeah.
No, you haven't.
Yeah.
Google a picture of a baby pigeon. They don't exist.
Not Googling it.
Right. Because they're born that size, quote unquote, cameras put right in on them.
All right, man. You're fucking, what is wrong with you?
Nothing.
Who are you?
I don't know. I have noticed that there's been changes going on in my life.
I think they really did chip you.
They didn't chip me. I'm not chipped yet.
You sure?
Yeah.
Joe said he already has us chipped.
I already have all you chipped. He's not lying. There's something suspect about that, Joe Blaze.
I mean, he might know where I'm at all the time. He can see that as long as my phone works.
It's because he tracks you with your iPhone.
Yeah.
See that? Your own friend has you chipped.
Well,
but going back to the vaccine, I think my biggest concern is just I don't know what I don't know. So it's a huge leap of faith, I think, for a lot of people to go get the vaccine. Like, the people are like, I'm not getting it because the government says I have to get it, or I'm not getting it because I'm a fucking Republican and a Democrat won the election. You know what I mean? Do you know what I mean?
Dude, anyone who takes politics like that into this shit is just...
It's 100%. If Trump came out and went, listen, folks, there's a good chance that I can come back into the fold and be your president again if you all go get vaccinated. They'd fucking run out of vaccines tomorrow.
Yeah.
Tomorrow. I love, too, because we're going to get into this tonight, the way that society has just gotten to this point where we over-politicize everything.
Okay.
Like, even innocent things has somehow become, it's a political issue, right? So listen, if you're offended by what I'm about to say, at least do some research and go and check. All right. I've seen countless people say these liberal assholes are out here and they're going after Dr. Seuss, and Dr. Seuss is canceling these 6 books. First of all, 5 of those books you've never read. The one that you might have read, Mulberry Street, maybe. I don't even care what the connotations are. Nobody complained. Nobody went to Dr. Seuss Industries and said, hey, these books are fucked up. You need to get rid of them. Nobody did that. Dr. Seuss Enterprises on their own said, you know what? These 6 books may have themes or things in those books that we don't feel comfortable with as a company. So they reached out to a bunch of educators and said, in your opinion, what do you think about these books? And those educators went, yeah, it's got negative connotations. So Dr. Seuss on their own went, you know what? Let's pull them off the shelves. We're not going to print any more copies of those. That's it.
Okay.
They made a conscious decision. Nobody complained.
All right.
Nobody went to Mattel and said, you know what? Maybe it should just be Potato Head and not Mr. Potato Head.
Yeah, but you know what bothers me about the whole Potato Head thing?
What's that?
Is that there already was a Mrs. and a Mr. Potato Head.
Correct.
What is the difference?
But again, nobody went to them and complained.
I understand that.
That's more what my issue is.
Why did they do that?
It's
Like, why are you just changing it for no reason?
It's a poor decision on their part from a PR standpoint. But I guess if you get people looking at Mr. Potato Head again as a viable toy, like I don't know what fucking kid wants to play Mr. Potato Head anyway.
Anyone who watches Toy Story.
You know, I still don't think that he's 15th, 20th on the rankings of
but
cool
whatever.
Toy Story toys.
That's cool.
It's just not a toy that anybody wants to play with. Like, are your kids banging you?
That's not even what I mean by it, though. What I mean by it is they literally went and changed something that already was. It was already a Mr. and a Mrs. There was no, in my opinion,
you're 100% right. There's no reason to do it. The reason that they were trying to do what they were trying to do was not make it Mr. and Mrs., make it gender neutral.
I understand.
Period.
I don't think there was a reason.
I agree with you. That's not what the debate is at all.
Well, actually, you know what? From a standpoint now, though, if you think about it, they're going to sell a neutral type Potato Head, and then they're going to sell accessories for a man or a woman.
Here's the thing.
They actually made more money.
They backpedaled. They're not doing anything. They're not changing anything. They're not making it a Mr., Mrs., or just a Potato Head. The point that I'm trying to make is this has been politicized for the last 2 weeks since they made the announcement. Nobody complained.
Yeah.
Nobody went to them and went, you know what you need to do? Drop the Mr.
Well, people are now complaining about characters, though, in shows.
So the Pepe Le Pew.
Uh-huh.
All right. So I saw a lot of stuff on the internet in regards to this. And people are like, oh, now they're trying to cancel Pepe Le Pew and this and that. And it's like, all right. And it'll specifically, if you read the wording and what the people are sharing, it's because he perpetuates bullying. It's not why that's not why. I didn't even read an article to say that they canceled him or that he's been removed. I heard that he was been removed from Space Jam 2. I think
they were going after who was the other character? Gilbert, the comedian is playing him.
Gilbert Godfrey?
No, Iglesias. No, who's the comedian? Gilbert Iglesias or no? Gabriel Iglesias. Gabriel Iglesias. Yeah,
Fluffy.
The comedian.
Fluffy.
Yeah, Fluffy. Yeah,
I don't know.
He's playing Speedy Gonzalez.
Is he?
And they're like mad about him playing Speedy Gonzalez.
I don't know anything about that.
They said it's like racial.
I gotcha. But again, the Pepe Le Pew thing, nobody complained.
I know.
At some point, some of these companies are trying. Now they are, yeah.
Yeah.
I think companies are trying to be more socially aware. Right? So people will go nuts and they go, you know what? In this day and age, we shouldn't be trying to get rid of these things. And they're trying to cancel all this stuff at the same time that Coca-Cola came out with a fucking memo that they're doing training to teach their employees to be less white. Like, to say that there's not issues within corporations, you're wrong on both ways. My point is you don't need to over politicize them and say that it's one way or the other. All of the things wrong with our country and our world aren't politically related. Sometimes companies just make mistakes.
Let me ask you a question, though.
Shoot.
So you're saying companies make mistakes?
Yes.
But all of these things that are changing or that people are trying to get changed or attacking now are all old.
Yes.
Like, they're older than you and I.
100%.
And like,
I think that people forget, like, we just assume because we live in a society that says, as a white man, I didn't do anything. I had nothing to do with slavery. It wasn't my ancestors. My ancestors came over at this time. Bro, the civil rights movement was only 60 years ago. There are still people living in this country who existed in a time where you had to separate water fountains. You had to separate schools. And to say that those people just went, you know what? You changed the rules, so now I don't feel that way anymore. No, there's still people who pass that down. We're still so close to that. We're still so close to the civil rights movement that there are people who still feel that, who still pass down that hurt and pain to their kids. And they're on the other side, people who pass that down and go, we should have never changed that. We're not far enough removed from those things. I think society, our younger generations, like our generation, our kids, I think we want to. And I feel like the older generation on both sides still keeps pulling away at those heartstrings. In the same way that we pull away at nostalgia from our own childhood, I feel like both of those groups of older generations still pull at the strings to say we wanted to go back to the way it was when we were kids.
You mean like most of our government?
Exactly. Most of our government
officials are 60.
A lot of our government was alive during those times. Yes.
Yeah.
And that's kind of like where I try to approach it, and I go, listen, if it's ridiculous, I'm going to say it's ridiculous. But there's nothing wrong with listening to somebody and saying, you know what? If this offends you, let's figure out why. Okay. And if you're ridiculous, and I'm going to fucking tell you. But if there's a legitimate reason, if there's an actual reason why you say, we need to make some changes here, you need to make some adjustments. Here's an example. When I was a kid, there's a book. It's still out. You can read it today. You can go pick it up at your local library. It's going to be different than what it was when I was a kid. The book Huckleberry Finn, Mark Twain.
Yeah.
It's a fucking literary classic. Mm-hmm. Every kid should or has read it all the way back since the time it was written, right? Yeah. There was a character named Jim in the book. And that character had a nickname, and it was the N-word, Jim. And they removed that from the book, I don't know, in the 90s, because they realized that the negative connotations of kids having to read this in class with other kids around makes everybody uncomfortable. It makes the situation. It's not anything that's significant to the story. It doesn't need to be in there.
Okay.
So they removed it
in there in the beginning.
Huh?
Why was it in there in the first place?
Because when Mark Twain wrote the books, it wasn't the same connotation as it was today.
Okay.
He didn't write the book in 1970.
When did he write it? In the 50s?
I think the late 1800s.
Oh, okay. All right. I mean, it still doesn't justify it today, but
no, but that's the point.
During that time, it was.
Look at it from during that time, you could get away with that. You could say that.
Yeah.
But in this day and age, if somebody goes, you know what? I don't like that use of the word in there. It's unnecessary for the story. It doesn't need to be there. Just remove the fucking word. And from that point on, every printed copy of the book no longer has that in there. Like, it's not that hard to say, hey, the
first version of that book isn't really worth any money, huh?
I don't know. Probably. Like, my whole point of this is if somebody says something, you know what? This kind of bugs me. We're mature enough as a society to go,
all right, but listen,
let's look at it. Let's figure out why.
That bugs me the fact that they change things that don't need to be changed.
But if it doesn't offend you, or if it's not something that bothers you,
it doesn't. It just
like give me an example of something that's changed that you don't think should have.
Like the potato head thing.
Okay.
Like I don't see what reason they had to go and do that.
Correct.
If there was only a Mr. Potato Head,
right,
I would completely be like, oh, all right, I see what they did there.
Correct.
But considering the fact that they already had it changed, like they already had both sides covered.
Yeah.
And it was literally like
I'll hit you with one that I can't explain. Somebody's tried to explain it to me, and I'm not sure I understand it 100%.
Okay.
Girls being allowed in the Boy Scouts when there is clearly their own group called Girl Scouts.
I don't even know.
So it has something to do with how you get your badges and how you go up in ranks, like as far as your achievements.
Okay.
I think in Girl Scouts, there's only one level. You're just there.
But why not why not take what the Boy Scouts do and put it into the Girl Scouts and to have both scouts?
100%. I agree. I don't know why it
Like,
changed. I don't know why it needed to change.
Logic in anything of some, like, no one does logical things in some of this. Why not just take the Boy Scouts model, put it in the Girl Scouts? They can do all the same things the boys do, to whatever degree they want it to be.
I have a better idea.
What? Just make them all one and just call
them
Scouts?
Scouts.
Yeah, put it together.
It's not that hard. Right. But
you could sell Scout cookies.
Scout cookies. But for whatever reason, there's a reason that I don't know enough about to say that this is why they did it this way. But I just think we're at a time in society, a time of the universe, where we're able to have conversations, and we should have conversations about shit. And eventually, you're going to get to the point where it's like, all right, you're not allowed to be offended by that anymore because we corrected it, we fixed it.
How are we allowed to be offended by, like, people who were born males joining women's sports?
We should be offended by that.
Yeah. Regardless of what they had done.
100%. Regardless of your body type, men and women are built different. We just are. Our body types are different. And I don't care what surgery or whatever you do. I have no problem with you doing it. But you can't compete in an athletic event. You want to go for the same job? You want to go for the same...
You know what story I'm talking about that recently came out where the guy went back to college?
Yeah, it was like fucking 10 years ago, though.
How was it?
Yeah.
But still, he went back to college. He was like 50 years old and joined the basketball team.
Yes.
And you could clearly see in every photo that he looks...
Yes. Nobody should have allowed that to happen.
It looks like a guy.
Nobody should have...
He's literally got 2 feet on everybody else.
Here's the thing. I am 100% will stand by the LGBT community. I'll never be able to relate, but I'll always try to help, if that makes any sense. Like, I'm willing to listen. I'm willing to have conversations. The transgender stuff, it's tough because I can't relate. But I'm open-minded enough to say I'll have a conversation with you and you can explain it. I'll support you. I'll support your decisions, whatever you want to do. Not you specifically, but just I'm speaking in general. The men who become women and then try to join women's sports, I don't get.
I don't get it either.
I don't get it.
What, you couldn't win as a man, so now you want to go try and win?
I don't think it's that. I think it's more of an inclusion thing, and why are we denying this? But what I'm saying is, like, physically, like, it's unfair to the people that are there.
Isn't there men have different amount of chromosomes or something than a woman? Or something?
No, we all have the same amount of chromosomes.
Okay, I thought there was something.
We have different bone structure. We have different bone density.
I understand it.
Men are stronger than women in a lot of regards when it comes to athletic prowess. What bugs me is that if you're a male that transits into a transgender that becomes a female, that you can compete in a female sport against a female who's trained her entire life to be able to compete in that sport. And then you can walk into it and just be physically stronger than her. And you already have a head start of where she's at. She can't beat you.
Right.
Like, you just, not only did you're pretending that or trying to make it out like you're doing this for yourself, but you're taking it away from other people.
Other women who have worked their whole life to get there.
Correct.
Yeah.
We're in a tough, it's a tough time in society right now. Like, there's so many times where I look at my social media and I go, I just want to be on here to laugh. I just want to be on here to connect with friends because we're all stuck indoors. We're all stuck at home right now.
A lot of times.
And then I look at it and I go, dude, like, you don't have to politicize everything. You don't have to politicize everything. Everything doesn't have to be politics. Everything doesn't have to be disingenuous or
I think that's
laced with anger.
I like my Instagram more than I like my Facebook anymore.
I you know what? I probably should get on Instagram, but I don't share pictures.
Don't, just go on there.
And do what?
Look at memes. Follow other people for good stuff. You know?
Yeah.
Sorry.
People, what's the word I'm looking for? Where you're trying to create division. No, there's another name for it. I don't know what it is.
You're just creating an
divisive,
argument.
Divisive.
Fight. Like, yeah.
Like, everything that you say, everything that you do has nothing to do with like a cause or because you believe in it. You're just doing it because you're trying to start an argument.
Mm-hmm.
You're just trying to be a contrarian
instigator.
Like you're trying to you're just saying
things that you don't even really care about, but then you know
like there's a level of it that goes beyond trolling. Like I think there's people on there like I follow a lot of sports sites because we obviously should do a sports show, and like it always annoys me when I see somebody post something and then they don't engage in the conversation. Like they'll post something ridiculously stupid.
Like I avoid things like that. I don't comment a lot. The other day though, I saw one and I was just like, I gotta comment on this.
But what they do is they'll comment stuff. They'll put up a post and it's meant to engage you in a negative way. It's meant to be divisive.
Yeah,
and then a bunch of people start arguing. But a bunch of people will start arguing in the comments, and you'll scroll through, and the original poster never comments, never gets involved in the discussion.
Yeah.
So he wasn't trying to have a discussion. He was just trying to fucking throw gasoline out there and let everybody run around with matches. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, he was just trying to blow up his page.
It's not even his page. Like these are just regular people that aren't in, moderators or whatever. They have nothing to do with the page. They're just a fan of it like you are. And they'll post something ridiculous like, we should trade player number 11 off the bench for player number 2 on this one.
Dude,
and it's like,
I'm going to tell you something right now. Any person on there who posts something about a trade, I don't even read it. Scroll right by it. I read the first 2 words and it was like, this trade. Nope.
Yeah.
Because it's like your trades are ridiculous.
The best and worst thing you can find on ESPN is the trade machine.
Yeah.
Because it gave all of these people the tool that they need to be able to see if a trade would go through. The only thing that the trade machine does.
People don't even look to see if they go through. They just throw them on
there. They
go
through. The thing is, like, the ESPN trade machine will let you put trades through.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't have a problem with you going, yeah, the money matches. That's all they care about. If the money matches, the trade will happen. It doesn't mean the team will make the trade.
Right. Yeah.
Like, it has nothing to do with that. Like, just because the trade works doesn't mean that, they're going to take. If you wanted to trade fucking Tobias Harris for LeBron James, doesn't mean the Lakers are going to take it. The money matches up.
Mm-hmm.
The trade machine will allow it.
Yeah.
But the money doesn't match up.
Mm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's disappointing.
Oh, no, it always is though, because these people only are these are hometown fans only thinking their hometown team.
Right.
And it's like you guys need to look at both sides of the freaking the thing here.
Yeah.
I don't want to get into the whole sports thing.
No.
But just you have to literally work out everything, both sides.
Yeah.
Then they're not going to do it anyway.
All right. Quick announcement, something that we're doing. I'll give you guys a little taste. This should be up and available starting Monday. So we're doing our Field of 64. It's obviously March Madness time. Brackets are going to be coming out probably next weekend. I think it is.
I don't even
it might
know.
be it might be Monday too.
What are they doing with the tournament?
So instead of it's usually a Thursday through Sunday for the first 2 rounds. It's going to be Friday to Monday.
Okay.
So it's the same thing, but I think it is. Everything's going to be in Indianapolis where the NCAA headquarters are. All the games will be there. So it'll be a little different. So what we're doing is,
Jimmy, it's not ignorance. We know it. We wouldn't want LeBron anyway. Don't worry about it.
Who said that? Who's that?
Jimmy Marcus.
Who's that?
He said, get off the sports. You show your ignorance when you say Toby for LeBron is not fair.
See, this guy's just being an asshole now, even though I love him. But so what we're doing, and that's actually interesting that Jimmy knows when to chime in. It's almost like he's been doing podcasting for a good long while now. He's the king of the segue. So he and us, Santa Boot First. Jimmy is with Santa Boot First. He's the co-host, him and Deke. We're going to do this in conjunction. It's our Field of 64. It's our own March Madness. And we are doing...
I think you and Jimmy basically set all this up, right?
Pretty much. I mean, you guys have had your input. Deke has contributed, and he wants to argue with me about some stuff, so I might stop in tomorrow night and just stand outside the studio in front of the glass and let him yell at me like an angry old man. Sometimes his yelling is the equivalent of get off my lawn. It totally is. So we're doing a Field of 64. It's the greatest TV or sitcom or even drama TV moms. So, for instance, I have a field of 64. They're all seeded from one seeds to 16.
So is
four
your
brackets.
number one on that page the number one overall seed?
The number one overall? Yes. I'll release it. I'll let you know who it is. So the number one seed. So we're going to do this in brackets. We've got the Delco bracket. We've got the Monco bracket. We've got the Bucks County bracket and Philadelphia bracket.
Yeah.
Chester, you're out. So in the one seed, the number one overall seed, and I don't care who you can't disagree with this. The number one overall seed in the entire tournament is Marge Simpson. You can't argue with it. Find a better. Listen, I'd be hard pressed to say that unless she comes up against a really tough matchup. She might win.
The only problem I have with Marge, I haven't seen her deal with a teenager yet.
Yeah, she's gonna win.
They've been 9 years old the whole time.
There's some sleepers in here that I like. I like Gemma Teller as an 8 seed.
Is she going up against her own?
So she won't be in the same bracket. She'd have to meet her at another point. We'll figure that out.
Okay. So she could be in the final 4.
Possibly. I do kind of want to see. I mean, I got some 5 seeds. Catelyn Stark versus Cersei Lannister. They're not going to play each other, but they're both 5 seeds. So there is kind of a theme to some of the seeds that I did here where you'll see like my 9 seed, or not my 9 seed. Let me see.
Do we have
my 12 seed. All 4 of the 12.
Tara from Sons of Anarchy too?
No.
Okay.
She didn't make the cut.
All right.
She's not a TV mom that you want on the list anyway.
Okay.
My 12 seeds. Here's
she kills people and shit.
She does. The 12 seed. See if you can figure out what the theme is. Wilma Flintstone, Jane Jetson, Anne Romano, Peggy Hill.
All cartoons?
3 of the 4 are cartoons. So sometimes it just worked out that way. It wasn't even like it was on purpose. But so yeah, I'm excited to see how this kind of plays out. I have like my picks that I think are gonna do well. And there's someone there that I didn't know that I knew that I had to rank higher because they're very popular. They're from popular shows.
That Deke knew.
Huh? That Deke knew. Deke's been following this since before there was TVs. He wanted to put radio moms on.
Radio moms?
Yeah, like back in the day when they would just listen to the radio, there was no TV. He's like, what about the mom from this? And I'm like, I don't even know who that is. There's no pictures of her. Doesn't exist.
And what are we going to play her voices like the fight?
Yeah. Deke's old, so he doesn't know any better.
How old is Deke, honestly?
Nobody knows. One time I came around a corner and Deke punched me in the stomach and I looked at him and I went, Deke! And I went, how old are you? And he went, I'm 137 years old. I swear.
I believe you.
Yeah. 137 years old. He's got vampire blood. The thing is, he can still bench press a Buick, run 6 miles.
The things I think of when you say things.
Like what?
You said vampire?
Yeah.
I'm thinking Transylvania, like 1, 2, or 3, where the dad's just like, blah, blah, blah. Watch way too many kids.
You do. You gotta fucking see. This is how your life has changed since quarantine.
Holy shit!
You just watch a ton of cartoons now with your kids. He shares Ovaltine with Moses. Jimmy says it's true.
Ooh, damn,
it's true. My man's old as shit. I got some news stories for you.
All right, man. Let's go.
But yeah, so look for the bracket. The Santa Boot First Cats will be sharing out some stuff. We'll be sharing out some stuff, but just make sure you get involved, and the matchups will come out, and you'll be able to vote one way or the other which one you think should be advancing on in the field, and we'll narrow it down. And make sure you check out their show too, because they'll be talking about it. We'll be talking about it on our show. Key matchups, but that's going to start on Monday, so be on the lookout for that. News stories. Let's get into some this week. Just in case, the CDC shared tips on surviving a zombie apocalypse. You seen this?
No.
So if you thought 2020 was bad, how about a zombie apocalypse in 2021? YearlyHoroscope.org broke down some famous prophecies of Nostradamus. He's a French physician best known for his book Les Prophéties, which allegedly predicted future events. One of the predictions is that 2021 will be the year that a zombie apocalypse takes over. So you better
I hope
be
all
prepared.
those people with those stickers on their car really do what they say.
What's that?
Like, you haven't seen the stickers on people's cars that
No.
says this is a zombie apocalypse like rescue vehicle or some shit. I really hope those people spring into action with all their fake ass stickers.
Nostradamus has predicted a bunch of shit that's come true and some that's not. He predicted that a Russian scientist would allegedly create a biological weapon and produce a virus that can turn humankind into zombies, making humans extinct in the near future.
Maybe it was China.
Maybe it was China. Maybe he just has countries.
That's what the friggin'.
That's what
that's what this vaccination is.
We're all going to turn into fucking. Damn it, Rob! All right, so the first thing you're going to need in your emergency kit.
Have to save the world, though.
Yeah,
we're gonna have to make some tough choices with that.
Some people aren't gonna make it. The first thing you're gonna need in your emergency kit, you're gonna need a gallon of water per day, food, stock up on non-perishable items, medications, tools and supplies like a utility knife, duct tape, battery-powered radio, etc.
Why do you need duct tape?
Fucking tie up the fucking zombies. Dude, you know what would be the fucking worst, Rob? If a zombie apocalypse happened, right? And we're battling it out. And you know who comes and saves us?
Who?
Aliens.
I mean,
and then I don't get to enjoy it because I have to fight side by side for our universe.
With aliens?
Yes, with aliens.
Your boys.
Huh?
They're...
I don't know. What if I don't like them?
You're going to have
What if I don't want to be in a foxhole with that big-headed bastard? Hey, I'm assuming he's going to have a big head.
He's going to take a shot for you?
Probably not. He doesn't know me.
I think he will.
I don't know. He doesn't know me. He doesn't know my family. He's not even from here.
No?
That'd be wild.
He came to save you.
That'd be wild. If it was aliens that saved us from a zombie attack.
Maybe we're really just aliens.
Don't start with me, Rob. Don't you
never know.
Start with me. Nutritionist says that pizza is actually better for you for breakfast than most cereals, which if you think about it, it makes sense. You know what the one common thing with all cereals is?
Sugar.
They're all loaded in sugar. Not much in pizza.
So pizza's bread.
Well,
cheese and some sauce.
This is what it says. A nutritionist said that due to the large amount of sugar found in many cereals, pizza's better. Pizza may have more fat, but it has less sugar. You have a better chance of avoiding a sugar crash later on if you have pizza.
If I eat pizza for like breakfast, it can't be like cold out of the fridge. Like it needs to be like room temperature is good. Like I'll eat it that way. Like I don't need.
Do you like Hot Pockets?
They're okay until they burn your fucking mouth.
Correct. Or like toast. What are they called? Pizza rolls.
Pizza rolls are shit.
Pizza rolls are awesome. Do you think you could have those for breakfast?
Yeah, why the hell not?
No, I'm not saying. I'm like, can you get it past your eyes? Because I know that anybody can look at like a cold pizza sitting on the stove from last night and go, "All right, I'll have a piece of that right now."
Yeah.
But like, you're not going to get up in the morning and go, "You know what I should do? I should make some fucking pizza rolls right now at 6 a.m. while everybody's asleep."
If you're
get them all myself.
If you're hungover, I mean, you could. Or if you're still half drunk from the night before.
You're not going to wake up and do that. You're going to do that before you go to bed. You're going to forget they're in there and burn down the house.
Or you're just going to forget they're in there and then come down in the morning and you got fucking cold pizza rolls. Fucking perfect breakfast.
You just assume that your oven's going to shut off on its own?
I put them in a microwave.
Who puts pizza rolls in a microwave?
Who doesn't?
You fucking savage. Nobody.
Yeah, they do.
Nobody puts pizza rolls. Nobody puts pizza rolls in the microwave.
Yeah, they do.
Ew. Are you serious?
Yes, they do. Yeah.
Yep. I'm going to look this up. Not right now, but I'm going to.
They have directions on the back for a microwave. You never saw that? You never thought of that?
I don't know if I can get behind this. I feel like they would be soggy as shit from the microwave.
Overcook them? You gotta
but
just
like,
right there.
They're frozen. So I feel like the moisture from the ice from being frozen is going to be fucking infused into it. It's going to taste disgusting.
No, you're good. They're fine.
I don't trust it, dude. I don't trust it at all.
The same thing as cooking in a freaking like in the oven. What's the difference?
It's different. I think the water evaporates better in the oven. I don't want to talk about this anymore. You just fucking ruined something for me. Over there, smug. This is probably one of the greatest headlines I think I've ever read. An Edinburgh woman bit off a man's tongue in a street brawl before a seagull swooped down and ate it.
That's interesting.
Let that stew for a second. Edinburgh woman bit off man's tongue in a street brawl before a seagull swooped down and ate it.
That's crazy, though.
That's fucking amazing. Like, First off, she had to be right up in dude's face to be able to bite the fucking, obviously to bite his tongue off. James McKenzie spat out a piece of his tongue onto the street after Bethany Ryan, 27, had ripped it off with her teeth during an incident in Edinburgh. The seagull then flew down and grabbed the muscle, making off with it before the injured man could retrieve it. Edinburgh County Sheriff Court was told about the grisly incident, which left the victim maimed for life. When Ryan appeared in the dock to plead guilty for the attack last Thursday. Doesn't say what it was for, I don't think. Miss Dickens said the pair were strangers, but an argument developed between them. The court heard Ryan had tried to walk away from the confrontation. The fiscal said McKenzie continued to be aggressive towards Ryan, and he approached her again with a clenched fist. Mrs. Dixon said Miss Ryan somewhat oddly responded to that by pushing him on the body and kissing him. She kissed him on the lips, and during the course of that, she bit through his tongue, which caused a piece of his tongue to be removed. Something sounds like a lie here. How do you go from ready to punch this bitch in the face to she's kissing me now? Yeah, I'll fucking stick my tongue down her throat.
So weird.
Right? Never mind that the fucking seagull stole the tongue. You think he was just like lurking around just waiting for something to fall off?
Dude, they were probably like on the boardwalk or something.
Vulture.
You know? He thought it was like, whoa, oh, food. Then took it to all his boys, and he's like, this don't taste like pizza?
It says McKenzie attended the hospital for treatment where the laceration to his tongue was said to be oozing blood. They added he did not require surgery given the piece of the tongue was no longer available to be attached. So they stitched it up and he's got no fucking tongue.
It sounds like it was a mini little piece. I'd like to see photos of this.
Jesus Christ.
I'm going to have to find out who this guy is.
Get details, dude.
Definitely.
That just sounds crazy to me.
So I got one for you.
Can I just do one more real quick and then you can do yours?
I only have a few. So.
I got a couple too. I got a couple more too, but we can save them. This is another one of those headlines that just grabs me. Like I see the headline, I don't even read the article. I'm like, I want to be just as surprised as Rob when we get there. That's why some of these are duds. The headline just fucking catches me. Cocaine addicted hospital porter dressed up as a dinosaur and disrupted evening drug administration. So you know how like at like certain times in the day, the orderlies will go around the hospital with their cart and they've got all the drugs and they go into the room. This one's for you. Take your pills or whatever. This dude dressed up as a dinosaur was fucking running around all coked up in a fucking rehab center.
Was he handing out the medicine?
A cocaine addict who dressed up as a dinosaur while working as a porter at a hospital has lost his unfair dismissal action. He fucking tried to sue them because they fired him for the incident.
Wow. Pretty high, huh?
Yes. All right. So Workplace Relation Commission adjudication officer Catherine Byrne found the dismissal was reasonable, proportionate, and not unfair. The porter first came to the negative notice of his hospital bosses after a clinical nurse manager reported that on April 11th, 2019, he was distracting staff from getting on with their work. He had dressed up as a dinosaur and had disrupted the evening drug administration round. Mrs. Byrne said the facts as outlined by the hospital concerning the incident had not been contradicted. He says that he was on anxiety medication, but he fucking ran around the hospital in a fucking dinosaur costume.
Anxiety medication calms you down, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Just making sure we're on the same page.
That's funny, though.
Really?
Yeah. He tried to say that they fired him because he had a drug and alcohol problem. And they're like, yeah, no, that's not why we fucking fired you. We fired you because you were in a dinosaur costume, all fucking coked up being disruptive. Go ahead and hit yours. What do you
got? So a doctor had a online, you know how they do the Zoom trials?
Yeah.
So he had a trial for like a parking ticket or something, and he was in the middle of surgery while he was on the Zoom call.
Say this again.
A doctor.
He was on for a traffic ticket, right?
Yeah.
I do remember seeing this.
He was in surgery though while doing the Zoom call for the hearing.
Right.
And the judge is like, "What are you doing?" And he's like, "I'm just doing surgery." Like,
yeah. It's like I'm doing
it takes
surgery.
a little longer sometimes than like normal than we expect, and here we are. And the doctor's like, "Well, we're gonna reschedule this," and he's like, "Why? We can just do it." Like he literally was pleading, "Just let's get this done. Like we're cool. Like there's other doctors in here doing the surgery with me." I think it was a plastic surgery. Right?
I think it was. Yeah.
So it's like this is like, voluntary surgery. Like we're good. Like, but it's just crazy. Like the world we live in today. It's those things that have changed. And,
that is totally one of those things. You should have brought that up earlier.
Yeah, I saved it. Sorry. I'm going to cut that out and put it in the beginning.
You put it in the beginning. I got a good one for you. You probably already heard about this. We probably should have made this. Maybe we'll do this as a deep dive some other time too. We can look into this. But Nike's executive quits over son's $132,000 sneaker purchase.
On the Nike credit card.
So yeah, he took his mom. So his mom is Ann Herbert. She's a vice president and general manager. The vice president and general manager of Nike's North American division. She was implicated after Bloomberg Business Week report found that her son, Joe Herbert, 19, used bots to make an online purchase of 600 pairs of sought-after sneaker, the Adidas Yeezy Boost, after they were released. Herbert used a corporate American Express card, which was in his mother's name, to build up the stock of his resale business, West Coast Streetwear, and sold the shoes for more than $20,000 profit.
Here's what bothers me. This dude bought $132,000 worth of shoes and only made $20,000 in profit.
So, I mean, if you think about it, that's actually pretty good.
Really?
Yeah.
You spent 132 to make 20.
He didn't lose 20.
All right, but you know what I'm saying? Like,
it wasn't even that it was that. There's so much more to this story. He was using his mom's credit card
to build his whole business.
Not just that. He was using his mom's credit card to buy shit from Nike with his mom's discount to resell it, which is a big no-no because she's getting a discount as an employee, not him. She's not allowed to resell the shit that she's buying.
Right.
So, I mean, I'm curious as to like, in the long term, will charges be brought up against her? Because she fucking had to know all of this shit's getting shipped to her house. She can see the fucking credit card bills. Well, she knows.
So I wonder how she was doing the expense report on that. Like, like all this stuff.
She's definitely, something's going to happen to her. Like, not only did this kid fuck up his mom's career, like, that's why I think that she was complicit. She had to know.
Well, that's why I think she bounced, like, just completely, like,
well,
basically. I don't think she resigned. I think she retired.
I think she resigned. I think they told her it's step down time while we do whatever we're going to do.
Yeah. Well, she's probably still going to get her pension.
I'll tell you what, if it's found that she knew about all of this, probably not.
But yeah.
I mean, she cost the company money.
Yeah.
If you think about it, by using her employee discount and this kid's buying fucking hundreds of pairs, I'd like to know what their auditing system looks like that they don't know.
Well, the Yeezys, I think, are made by Adidas.
They are.
So he was buying shit from competitors.
Yeah, but not just that. That part there I said is egregious as it is. That's why he only made 20 grand. But he was buying drops from Nike through Nike with his mom's credit. Like, how do they not know that this is going down?
Oh, yeah. I mean, dude.
Like, who's not auditing it and going, yeah, these are all going to one place with an employee discount?
Yeah, who's not paying attention?
Somebody fucked up.
We're losing this much money on an employee discount when it's supposed to be like 2 pair.
Right.
Yeah.
Somebody had to have seen that. And like, that's why I think that, like, from a complicit standpoint, she's going to get hit. Something's going to happen to her. We may not hear about it 3-6 months down the line, but they're going to do an investigation as far as what she knew. And that's where she's going to get burned. And the kid's going to make money off of what he has, but his business is done after that.
Oh, no, he's probably good now. I mean, he has the money to try and do it himself.
Sure.
He doesn't really need her.
But his profit margins were so good and he was able to make money because of her.
Well, hopefully he made enough money to fucking survive now.
Well, like you just said, he sold paid $132,000 for sneakers that he only made 20 grand off of. Let's assume that he invests that 20 grand back into his business because I don't think he's gonna.
Yeah, I don't know.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I feel like it puts him. I don't know. I doubt that he'll make money off of this, but I don't think it's going to be enough to sustain his resale business. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The margins would have to be crazy. But she's definitely going to pay the price for this.
Yeah. So I got a story for you I actually saw.
Yeah, he was buying he used his mother's employee discount to purchase sneakers in bulk from Nike outlet stores. Like, how do they not? I don't understand like how they don't catch that.
He probably made friends with the people in the store.
Yeah. It's crazy.
She probably sent him to that store. Like, go to that store.
He says that he never got any inside information from his mom.
Well, yeah, she probably didn't know anybody. He probably met someone through her that was like, yo, I know how you can do this.
Right.
You know?
Go ahead.
Either way. So, in Mexico, apparently they're calling it the death market. It's oxygen shortage leaves Mexicans to die at home. What's going on here? To die at home. So
oxygen shortage at hospitals?
No. Like at people's houses, whoever gets oxygen everywhere. The whole country is short on oxygen.
Like you're talking about like
tanks, everything.
That's what I mean. Like, I got you.
Well, it's because the cartels are stealing it all and making people pay thousands of dollars for oxygen and normally cost regular prices. Because there's like a shortage.
Right.
So they're like jacking trucks, dude, and stealing the oxygen. I think it was a story on Vice too.
Okay.
It's a story in the New York Times and a story on Vice. The guy on Vice was like interviewed and he was like, yeah, my truck's been robbed 6 times. He's like, thank God I haven't been shot yet.
That's absolutely crazy and horrifying.
Yeah. Yeah. Who would have thought oxygen was worth so much money?
I mean, a couple of guys that were in that industry. I know what oxygen costs. That's crazy to me. Not
what they're making them pay.
Well, obviously, no. It's still a control. I mean, here it's a controlled substance. I don't think it's a controlled substance the same way down there. I don't think that they have like an FDA or like they're like a government watchdog. But like these cartels, like I don't understand. Like I get that like their government, most of the government's paid off, but like it would just seem to me that like the president of their country would just go, you know what? Just fucking send in the army and wipe these people out. Do you know what I mean? Like they know where they're at. They know what they're doing. They know where they're operating. Like I don't understand like how they're still operating in this regard. Like they must have some high-ranking people in fucking politics that are like, yeah, let's just overlook all of this bad shit that they're doing. Weird. That's crazy to me.
Yeah.
All right, this is the last story, and then we'll head out for the night. I feel like we all can relate with this story.
Yeah.
I think I'll read the story, and then you tell me your best. All right. Arizona man fakes his own kidnapping because he didn't want to go to work. So we've all come up with fucking crazy stories as to why we couldn't go to work. I remember as a youngster when I had like one of my first jobs, I remember telling my mom, I was like, I don't really feel like going to work today. I want to go out with my friends. I get something going on. What the hell can I tell them where they're not going to go? All right, that's no big deal. So she goes, tell them that you have gastroenteritis. And I went, what the fuck is that? And she goes, just tell them that's what you have. Guarantee the manager at fucking Burger King doesn't know what gastroenteritis is and isn't going to argue with you.
Right.
So I did. And they were like, all right, feel better. We'll see you when you come back in. It's fucking like diarrhea. Like it's just a better way to say it. It's not even really a big deal.
Yeah.
But like nobody's going to question it. It's like, oh, that sounds awful. Are you going to make it?
Well, now as you would call in though, because someone would be like,
yeah. They're going to Google that like WebMD and go, I'll see you in an hour. Like,
yeah, take some AD.
Yeah.
I'll take some Imodium and let's go. What the fuck?
Yeah. But back in the day, you could do that shit. Like you could fucking go in and say, I've got fucking appendicitis. And they would go, all right, I guess you're going to have that removed. I'll see you in a week. Like now it's all right. I'll see you tomorrow. So this guy faked his kidnapping. An Arizona man was arrested after faking his own kidnapping because he did not want to go to work. 19-year-old Brandon Souls was found roughed up and helpless on February 10th in Coolidge, a city 55 miles from Phoenix. He told police he had been kidnapped by 2 masked men. In actuality, police said he did it all to himself. A Coolidge Police Department. Yeah. But the fact that like he was like, fuck this, I gotta get 50. He drives 55 miles outside of town and then just waits for the cops to pick him up.
Just went to work.
He informed us that he at first stuffed a bandana in his mouth. Afterwards, he took off his own belt and bound his hands with his own belt, laid on the ground and scooted out on the side of the road so somebody could see him and waited.
What the
My man put way more effort into not going to work than just going to work.
Yeah, like it would have been easier just
and his plan worked, or at least he thought it would. Police were called to the scene by a passerby at found Souls. He informed us that he was hit in the head, stopped in a car in front of his home, and this occurred after 7 o'clock in the morning. But when we located surveillance in front of his home, we were able to see no such thing, police said. Souls explained the kidnapping was over a large amount of money that he had hid somewhere around town.
Oh, dude.
The elaborate story, along with the slew of text message evidence he claimed to have, were all made up. Coolidge Police Department detectives brought him in on the 17th of February, and we questioned him. And we showed him all the information. He admitted that he fabricated the story because he didn't want to go to work.
Wow. What an idiot, dude.
That's something that Souls won't have to worry about anymore. Police said he was fired from his job at the tire factory in Coolidge.
Bro, if you like, dead serious, if I don't want to go into work now, I just text my boss like, "Yeah, I can't come in."
Right.
I don't give it a reason. I just can't come in.
Yeah. It's odd to me that like we get time to not go to work, right?
I don't get sick time, but go ahead.
But for the most part, people get sick time so they don't have to go to work.
Yeah.
But like we still feel guilty about taking it.
I wish I got it and I wish it rolled over. Because I would never take it. And then like when I retire, I'd have all this sick time and I would just take a year sick.
See, with you, it's always an angle. But I'm saying like in general, people that are just like,
you know how many people do that?
Oh, a ton of people, dude. That's not everybody doesn't have that kind of job though, Rob.
That's not how sick time.
I know, but that's not how like the whole.
That's what I've say now. That I don't have it. That's what I say I would do.
Yeah,
and I guarantee you,
if you had it, you're taking it.
I'm like, yo, I'm sick.
Dude, I've had times where like I've called out a sick of work where I'm just like, I need a mental health day. I just need a day for myself where I just can fucking get back to neutral. And I'll take that day and like I'll spend the entire day feeling guilty the fact that I didn't go to work and I'm just fucking worse off than I was when I took it.
Yeah. It's weird when you don't go to work because you don't do anything.
No, like you're not doing it because I'm going out somewhere, especially now with COVID and shit. Like you're not going anywhere, you're not doing anything.
Yeah.
But like we still feel guilty about it. It's crazy.
Yep.
We will see you all next week. Be on the lookout for the Top TV Mom March Madness post. You should see it probably.
Vote.
Yeah, get your votes out.
Peace.
See ya.